Respected Director VSSC, members of SSI Thiruvananthapuram chapter and other sister societies, a very good evening to all of you, and let me extend a warm welcome to you to this inaugural function of the SSI 20-minute online talk series, Plenty in 20. Just a brief introduction regarding the duration of this talk. This duration is based on the concept that the attention span of individuals in any meeting, it varies depending on the capability of the individual to concentrate, but on an average, it is about 18 to 20 minutes. This is not a new concept. It has been existing for many decades. In fact, the US President John F. Kennedy, in his famous "We Choose to Go to the Moon" speech at Rice University in 1962, the talk duration was exactly 18 minutes. So is the case with all TEDx talks. TEDx talks are of 18 minutes duration, which they claim is long enough to be serious and short enough to hold people's attention. And that's the reason why TEDx talks are very popular with over 41 million subscribers and over 2 lakh videos in YouTube. This SSI talk is also conceived along similar lines with a 20-minute duration. In fact, there is a study by the US Navy that showed that a 20-minute lecture was equal to the classic 50-minute lecture in terms of information retained by the audience. Today's inaugural lecture in this series will be delivered by Dr. Unnikrishnan Nair, Director VSSC and IAST, the founder director of HSFC, a technocrat par excellence, and a leader who has given ISRO a series of successes, needs no introduction to the ISRO community. Besides being a visionary leader, he is also a good orator and writer. At least some of us would have read the article he recently wrote about Thiruvananthapuram city in a Malayalam daily. In that, he mentions how few years ago, when he wanted to learn Sanskrit, he located a guru in Eastport, and when asked about the fees, the guru told that it is free. Impacting knowledge itself is a great thing. This talk series is also conceived with the same spirit. Let me invite Dr. Unnikrishnan Nair, Director VSSC, to deliver the talk on Everything We Do Matters. Sir, the online stage is now yours.
Okay, thank you. So first, let me share the Can you see it full screen now?
Yes, sir. It has come full screen, sir.
And am I audible also?
You are loud and clear, sir.
Okay, very good evening on a Sunday evening. Thank you, SSI, for this opportunity. So, plenty in 20. So, we know how difficult it is to talk within 20 minutes. We are all used to make technical presentation. So, first, I would like to start with the disclaimer that today it's not Director VSSC or IAC is talking, it is me talking with my experience. My title is Everything We Do Matters. In fact, it is taken from a book, part of the title of that book. We usually say Manasa Vacha Karmana. That means we can do actions three ways: with our mind, through our words, and through our action. So, this mind means, the influence, we know that how mind is influencing. Mind, manasa means mind, vacha means words, and karmana means action or karma. And we need to be very careful when we nurture all these things and when we use these faculties. We know that mind, we get energy through meditation or through prayer or through nurturing good thoughts, depending upon one's belief. Atheist need not need not do prayer, but he has got or she has got other ways of enriching their mind. And similarly, words, we need to be very careful while using words because they have both constructive as well as destructive powers. And we get our vocabulary or words through reading, through friends, through travel. Many writers like Vaikam Muhammad Bashir, they were all, they have not gone to school, but then they got all their vocabulary from their travel. Similarly, the important thing is action. Action means how we are using our body or the karma what we do. Now we know that Kalidas and who lived in 4th, 5th century, somewhere that time, he was telling Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhana. That is, unless you have your body, you cannot talk about dharma or adharma or whatever it is. So it is important that these three limbs, the limbs, we nurture and then keep them healthy. So can you see the second slide? Somebody can confirm.
Yes, sir. Butterfly
Yeah,
effect.
I am sure all of you know it. What is butterfly effect? A butterfly which is flapping, say in Texas, can create a cyclone in India. That means even the smallest action can cause ripples in the world. It can unfold many events. That is what we call as butterfly effect. So in our daily life, whatever we do, maybe it be a very simple action that we are very kind to a person, maybe giving a little big tip at a hotel when we go for a dinner. It can exponentially impact our own lives and also others for better. This is what is called the butterfly effect. We know that in science, when we deal with, when we are in school, we say pi, we take it as 22 by 7. So something very close to that. But then when we are in engineering college, we use what 3.14. But when we deal with, say, mission to say low Earth orbit missions or missions with the rocket, we use maybe 8 or 10 significant digits. But when we talk about going beyond the solar system like Voyager and all, the number of significant digits is more. Though the number is very small, it has a cascading effect when we that depending upon the situation. Now let us take one by one, that is mind or word or action. This is in Solomon Islands. It is believed that to cut down a tree, they don't have to cut it down. They just go around and then just hollering. They just abuse the tree. And then over a few days, the tree will wither away, and the leaves will shed its leaves, and it dies out. So it shows the power of mind or the words over in bodies or even species like trees or even animals. So we know that such a curse or a mental game can destroy anyone. It's very important how our mind thinks. Even from a distance, it can create or it can cause havoc or it can distract somebody's mental peace or even a life. Now, this slide shows two characters from Mahabharata. Left side, Krishna is the charioteer of Arjuna, and right side you can see Shalya, charioteer of Karna. So the power of words, how the positive and negative, how influence their life. When Krishna brought Arjuna in between the two armies, he lost his mental peace, and then seeing their relatives and others around, he put his arrows and bows down, and he told Krishna that I am not going to fight. I don't want anything, any material benefit after killing them. But then we know the Bhagavad Gita, the way he was giving energy to Arjuna, and finally he got out of it, and then he fought the war and won the war. Whereas Karna is equally like Arjuna, he is also a great warrior. But we know that during the time of when they were making coalition, somehow Shalyar, the king of Madri, he was tricked into the side of Kauravas. In fact, he wanted to fight with Pandavas, but it didn't happen because of the treachery played by Duryodhana. Finally, he was put as the charioteer of Karna. But every now and then, Shalyar used to abuse Karna. How you can match your power with Arjunan? You are nothing before Arjuna. You will be killed by Arjuna. And finally, she got so much frustrated that even uh, he was about to behead Shalyar because of the constant abuse. Then, but Arjuna, Duryodhana intervened and then settled it. So this shows the power of words what is the magical power it has on people. And when we talk to our children, or even to our when we are in school, when in office, when we talk to our peers, or even to boss, maybe boss, we may talk good words, but it is important that we talk good words to our peers, to the subordinates. And equally important is the type of words that spread through gossiping, and each one, when they are their own spice, and it goes to many years, and then finally it spreads only negative energy. So there is a saying, gossip dies whenever it hits the ears of a wise person. And we need to introspect, are we spreading it, or it gets die down when it reaches us. What you see here, left side, is the Hiroshima destroyed by the bombing by the USA, and right side it is again reconstructed as you see in 2020. Initially, there is a story behind this. In 1926, Mrs. and Mr. Stimson, they went to Kyoto, a city in Japan, and they had a very nice stay there. They were impressed by the beauty and the serene life there. And later, in 1945, he became the Secretary of War, and he was also the guiding spirit for the Manhattan Project, through which the story bomb was made and then dropped. So their initial plan was to drop it over Kyoto and Kokura, not Hiroshima or Nagasaki. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were down the the list. But then this Mr. Stimson, he was holding a powerful post. He didn't want this Kyoto to be destroyed because of his association in 1926, 20 years back. So he influenced the chief of army, and then finally he met President Truman twice to ensure that Kyoto is not there. Then came Kokura. Kokura was in the list, but then when they reached the Kokura, that area was cloudy, and they could not drop the bomb. They waited. Finally, the aircraft was running out of fuel, and they had to drop it over Hiroshima. So it all depends. See, finally, if at all it is decided at some point of time, fate can change, or destiny has something else in its sleeve, and that what is going to happen could be totally different. As a digression, I can just give one example. In 2000, early phase of SRE, that was in early 90s, we went to IIT Chennai for doing some impact studies with the SRE module. They have given a proposal, but it was very expensive. But then we explained the problem, and we didn't pursue it. Later in 2000, when we started the human spaceflight program, again, when we know that for human spaceflight program, it is very important. But by that time, when we reached, when we had the discussions, then they dug up a report. They say, when you came last time, though you have not pursued it, we have taken it as a MTech program, and we have the setup ready, the instrumentation ready. We are ready to take up your work. So sometimes a small action, even a small idea, can sprout into something which you will find useful at a later phase. So sometimes it is not strength that always win, even in war. You know that even the war in Ukraine or Afghanistan, it is not strength or the power. It is strategy that is very important. So you don't have to worry about hundreds of problems. Every problem has got a solution inside it. So you know the story of Goliath and David. Though Goliath was very powerful, David was a boy. He could win the war. So we have many problems like Gaganyaan, where the Andhari station, or even the moon, man landing on moon. But what I think, all such problems can be split into small problems, and we can solve. I recall one incident when we were traveling to Agastyakoodam. Uh, there was an old man carrying all the heavy items, and he was with us. He was a Kani, from a Kani tribe. So when I was refusing to climb the steep mountain, he was giving an advice. You don't look at the peak. You just look at the immediate step and then climb. But that was again an important advice. Sometimes you get advice from such people, that you will find so many gurus around. It need not be that gurus are senior to you. It can be children or anybody. from any class, they can be teachers to you. We know that we launch satellites using rocket, and rockets spend around 99% of the energy, or the 100% energy for the satellite injection is given by the rocket. But once the satellite has reached its orbit, then satellite has only limited options. It has got limited energy. It cannot change the orbit drastically. It cannot go 100 kilometer up or 100 kilometer down, but it has got limited options with energy available. So sometimes we are all in a multi-parametric world where we find that we have a limited option with many parameters. So one example is weather. Weather is very complex to predict. It has got so many parameters, so many input conditions, boundary conditions, even the nonlinear coupled equation solving using the powerful computer. Even today, with all these things, we find it very difficult to predict the weather. So there are parameters which are beyond our control. So what we can do is we only need to worry about parameters that are within our control and try to control them to the best of our capability so that the rest will be assured. Many a time, when you go to a place, we see that that place is so familiar to us. Sometimes we find that the persons are so familiar, people are so familiar, and as if that we have met him or her some time back, and it's quite possible that we see some connectivity between incidents or persons. Uh, Now, Steve Jobs, he has his quote is written here. That is, in our life, there are dots. Some incidents that happen in the past, they are all dots. We don't know when that incident happens, what exactly that incident is going to shape or how it is going to shape our world. But then after some time, when we look back, we see that all the dots are connected, and there is something behind that. Some design is there. So you can call it maybe your destiny or life or karma. It implies that at any point of time we have little control on many of our things, but many things happen on which we don't have control. This, that the in 1935, this this uh, quantum quantum technology or the quantum entanglement. It is a bizarre, counterintuitive phenomenon that explains how two subatomic particles can be intimately linked to each other, even if they are separated by billions of light years. That means it can be any part of the world. They can interact instantaneously and then communicate data. This finally led to, the Bell's theorem, and then Einstein and others. They were all part of this theory, but that was in 30s. But then entanglement is utilized for producing encryption. Encrypted keys, that quantum key distribution for a secure communication protocol that ensures confidentiality of cryptographic keys by leveraging the principle of quantum mechanics. This is something which is the science of 21st century. The phenomenon is thought to take place throughout the nature. It's not that between animate or inanimate, between anybody. It is possible, even in living species, it is possible that there could be the entanglement of microscopic level or microscopic level, and that can decide it can even answer many of the questions that we pose to ourselves. See, this quantum computer, it comes from this. Quantum teleportation is from this. Even the quantum entanglement provides scientific evidence supporting the argument that everything in the universe is connected profoundly. That means there is a connection between everything. If you talk about mind or words or even action, they are all connected each other. This may ultimately interconnect the microcosmic and the macrocosmic worlds. Everything can be explained probably with the advancement of quantum theory as well as the quantum entanglement, whatever we are discussing now. Even there is a term called quantum biology. where even the behavior of migratory birds, how the migratory birds are traveling thousands and thousands of kilometers, still it is a mystery for science. But many things can be explained by the quantum phenomena or the quantum entanglement or the quantum theory that is getting evolved, and it is becoming a, with more and more computing power, we expect that the more and more secret of the world will be unraveled, and probably we find the unity in everything. So that's what I wanted to talk to you. It's a split talk, many thought processes, just for giving a food for thought, and just to share some of the thoughts that I have been thinking loud in the past. Thank you very much. I hope I have kept the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. That was a captivating, thought-provoking, and enlightening talk. Something of a different nature. Maybe we can take a couple of questions. Over to Vice President Srimati Srilata for handling the question answer and Thanksgiving session.
Okay, we can, sir, we can have some 2-3 questions from audience, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, you can have, but I don't know whether I will be able to answer.
Okay, sir, we'll try. So participants can unmute themselves and ask questions. We'll take 2-3 questions. Or you
So you have
can
to be
put it
louder.
in,
Somehow my speaker is not having that much volume. So keep.
or you can put it in the chat box.
No need. You can. I can hear a little bit louder.
Okay.
I don't think
Then
anybody will have any question on this. This is a thought process. Many things you also know, but I was only trying to put it together as a sort of a chain so that it can be interconnected.
yes, sir, it is very
Sir, can I
thought-provoking.
ask a question, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, actually, this is regarding the initial one of the slides in which you had mentioned that the people of the island of Solomon, they curse the tree and destroy it. But if you see in our culture, especially I got this from the movie Peringachan, where it is told that before cutting a tree, we will seek forgiveness for cutting it down, and we seek the pardon of all the birds and all which are residing in the tree.
So that is the Indian way of cutting down trees. We seek the permission. We give it time to birds and other body animals to move away from that. We also look at the tree and see that it has crossed some part of the life and it can be cut down. That is Indian way of cutting down trees. But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is another way.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
when we are during house construction, no, when we are we will before digging, no, we will do bhumi puja. That is again when we are disturbing bhumi, also we used to do puja and take permission. Then only we start doing that. It is our Indian culture.
See, there are many unknown things like in our day of wind biasing, we take -1.5 hours wind and we assume that at the time of launch, the wind is that. If the wind is changing, if there is a gust sitting at some altitude, if it is changing the angle of attack, say beyond 4, we will have problem. What we will do? See, this is something unknown. Maybe you will crack coconut or you will do puja. This is all depending upon the individual's choice. You can do that.
Yeah.
Dealing with the unknown unknowns.
Any questions?
Sir. So I'm Jayanti here. The talk was very informative. One question, sir. Yes, by and large, the karma, what we have done in the past or what is done during our lifetime also plays a role. But then, is it any mid-course correction, like by the virtue of our interaction with some, like a guru or some seniors, where we
That is
can?
what I was telling. The mid-course correction, what the satellite can do is it can fire its 100 Newton or 50 Newton thruster. That's all. Once you are in an orbit, those things are decided by some time before. I'm not saying that we cannot change the future, but then there are parameters where we have control. Those parameters only we can control.
Okay. That has to come from us, kind of a self-realization and.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
Okay,
These
okay,
are all,
sir.
something
Because
where
every
probably I am not also an expert in that. These are all mostly subjective activities. You can, if I am a butcher, I can still get peace of mind there on my action, which is my karma. I can say that.
Hmm.
And there is a story also about a saint going to a butcher to get advice because he is doing his karma. Sometimes his karma could be killing animals, but then he has to do it.
because every slide has a school of thought. It was well said, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any any participants? Any more
Hello.
questions?
Yeah. Anything we do matters. The knowledge of this thing, will it be a hindrance for decision making?
No, you are. Yeah, I don't think decision making is at that point of at that moment you take decisions based upon our experience and also the data what we have. And that fear that if I take this decision, it might create something else. Anyway, we know that whatever we are doing, if it is for a good intent, for a good purpose, it has to be done. But if it is with a bad intention, definitely with that feeling will linger in your mind. That itself will be the penance we pay for it.
Any more questions?
Sir, only one question, sir. Sir, how we are seeing the things we are preparing for worst?
What is that?
How we are seeing the things we are preparing for the worst? Whether we can see it as we can go for pessimistic approach, or we call it as preparing for worst case scenario.
What is that? That example, can you tell? Preparing for worst means what?
Sir, when we are going for the design, we will always look for optimistic design only. But
Yes.
in certain time, we will be going for even worst case scenario also, like for human space program and all. We will prepare for worst case scenarios. How
Yeah.
you see that the trade-offs? How you see that, sir?
No, see, usually design, you have an envelope within which we design. And even if a worst case, if you say that it is within the envelope, it can happen. Many a time we have seen certain coincidence. The windows are aligning in such a way that something seemingly impossible has happened. So it all depends how carefully you are carving your window of design and then assigning numbers. Certain things, worst case, it may not even happen, but you are designing for it means that you are unnecessarily designing it. But many a time we don't have any design is an evolution. It takes time. That is why when you embark on a new design, you don't know many things. So there are a factor of ignorance we put, which over a period of time we understand better and then release it and make the system more and more what you call as efficient. So that is one of the reasons when we started the human spaceflight program. It was decided we will go with our heritage design. Heritage design has gone through the process of evolution, and we know it better. Anything in nature, you take anything is an evolved one. Even in our rockets, whatever we make in VSSC, or software or hardware or anything, even integration, anything, it is experience from past is shaping the future. So it's a evolved one. So it all depends how carefully you are making, what skill set you have, what is the experience you have with respect to that design.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts and answering the questions. I think President, Jaykumar, we can
Yeah.
go for the formal.
Thank you, sir. And let us also thank C for sparing the C-Income for sparing the
Yes, yes.
WebEx link. We will meet again for the next talk. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.